Hi, my name is Frank. It's Friday, time to kick back, talk music. Today I want to talk about the new Aussie, the new Clutch, but first I want to tell you about the new Skid Row album, The Gang's All Here. I've heard the entire album now a few times, though not on vinyl, unfortunately. I gotta say, I'm really digging it. To me, it sounds almost like a natural progression after Slave to the Grind, kind of like what should have come after Slave to the Grind. I gotta say, at this point, I'm thinking about 1/3 of the album is killer, 1/3 is really good, and 1/3 is kind of filler, but for honest, I would say probably 1/3 of all those classic Skid Row albums was probably filler. The three songs that have been released, I dig them, but I gotta say, a couple of the best songs have not yet been released. There is an amazing ballad on there called October's Song, and there's a real rocker, a real fist pumper called Not Dead Yet. And both of those could have been on Slave to the Grind, and both of them really showcase Eric, the new singer's vocals. Man, this guy is better than I thought he was. Anyway, I'm looking forward to this album being released on, I think it's October 14th. I have the record pre-ordered, so can't wait to spin that one.
Channel 33, RPM.
Okay, I gotta show you this. I ordered this album. This is by a band called Michael Kane and the Morning Afters. This record is called Broke But Not Broken. And big shout out, if you can see that there, big shout out to Chris in Austin, Texas, a buddy of mine who recommended I check this out. It's awesome album, excellence on State Line Records. And Chris initially described this as Springsteen punk, and I'm kind of like, what does that mean? But now I totally get it. It's kind of like punk meets Springsteen meets Tom Petty. Or maybe it's just rock and roll. You can just call it rock and roll. It's a mix of acoustic and electric guitar, bass, drums, and piano. It's generally a pretty laid-back kind of record. It definitely has that DIY blue-collar feel to it, driven home by Michael's gravelly voice. Anyway, I bought this on Bandcamp, and I was super surprised when it came through. On Bandcamp, you could choose to buy a signed version, which I did. So it's signed by the whole band. Is it gatefold? It is not a gatefold. It came with a bunch of cool stuff as well. It came with a drink coaster. I bought this. This wasn't thrown in. This was a 45 from those guys as well. It came in with a handwritten note, which is awesome. Hope all is good. Hey Frank, hope all is good. Thanks so much for the support. And of course, I didn't say I had a YouTube channel I was going to promote. I didn't say any of that. So, I mean, they just sent this. That was freaking awesome. They sent a signed photo of the band. And they sent a set list. So you gotta love it, man. You gotta love it when bands just go the extra mile and throw that stuff in. And as I said, I did not play any, hey, I got a YouTube channel and throw me, no, I'm not gonna do that. Happy to support these guys. I bought this on Bandcamp, but also check them out. The dog is barking upstairs. Also check them out on State Line Records. And check out State Line Records. I have a bunch of really good artists on there. Links below. Again, Michael Kane and the Morning Afters, Broke But Not Broken. By the way, I got a couple more records I want to show you, but I do want to give a big shout out to Beth at the YouTube channel Miss 80s. She posted this on her social networks last week. She ordered one of these Vinyl Gore and More shirts, so thank you very much for displaying it. If you guys like the 80s stuff, music and movies, check out Beth's channel Miss 80s. And of course, if you want to get one of these shirts, check it out at the Channel 33 RPM store. They're available only till October 14th. Also, shout out to Pedro and his wife Monica from Portugal. They got me to check out this band from Portugal called Seventh Storm. They're metal, they're power metal. I don't know, they have this distinct European sound. So Seventh Storm, also worth checking out. Also, I know a bunch of you have sent me stuff for the Friday night mailbag, and I have them. I got a box of stuff there, and I will show them in the next couple of weeks. I don't like to rush these things. I like to live with records. I like to digest them, to give my honest view on them, and that's hard to do with one spin. If you have sent me stuff, thank you, and I'm digging it, and I will share them in an upcoming Friday video with my full thoughts on it. Alright, a lot of you guys have asked me for my thoughts on this. This is the new Aussie album, Patient Number 9. Brand new, hot off the presses. This is the 2 LP black vinyl regular version. And I gotta tell you, I think it's really, really okay. I'm not loving it. I'm not gonna say it's the best thing ever. I'm gonna say it's adequate. It's okay. It's Ozzy. But I'm not gonna complain, man. I'm a huge Ozzy Osbourne fan. Of everything he's ever done. Black Sabbath is one of my favorite bands as well. So anytime we can get an Ozzy record, that's awesome. That's amazing. And to think we got this one this year, and we got what was his last one called? Ordinary Man. We got Ordinary Man a couple years ago. I mean, I love the fact that Ozzy is releasing all this stuff. I almost kind of wish I got the version of this record with the alternative cover. I love the alternative album cover artwork, but this is cool as well. So initially I had streamed this album. I had to wait. It took a couple weeks for my vinyl copy to arrive. I streamed it initially, and the version on Tidal and on Spotify is brickwalled. It's brickwalled to hell, man. It's so overly compressed. It's hard to listen to. And I've heard that the compact disc is kind of the same thing. I'm happy to report this one is not quite as bad. There's still some compression going on. Still has that modern kind of production, mix, master, or whatever, but it's not, the record does sound better than the streams anyway. So far, my favorite tracks, Patient Number 9, featuring Jeff Beck. And I love the Eric Clapton song. What was that one called? One of These Days. One of These Days. I think those are my two favorite tracks on here. Most of the tracks on here were written by Ozzy and Andrew Watt, with some guest writers on there, including Duff McKagan and Robert Trujillo. Ozzy's voice sounds okay. It sounds very processed, though. I read a comment somewhere on the internet somewhere, someone was saying, is Ozzy's voice just done by AI, artificial intelligence now? I mean, it's him, but it's very processed. If you've seen footage of the recording of this album, Ozzy did a lot of the vocals sitting down just because he can't stand for long periods of time, but he's pulling it off. Overall, I think this album is better than his last one, Ordinary Man. It's similar in production and songwriting. This one obviously has a lot more guitar playing on it. What I was probably most surprised about, because he's got so many guest guitar players on here. Jeff Beck, Clapton, Tony Iommi, bunch of guests, Zakk Wylde. But none of the guitar solos really stand out. And that was kind of surprised me. Most of the guitar solos are kind of forgettable. Because if you think back to some of Ozzy's most classic tracks, if I say Crazy Train, you can probably imagine that solo, right? As soon as I say it. If I say Bark at the Moon, you can imagine that guitar solo. If I say No More Tears, you can hear Zakk. I don't find any of the guitar solos on here memorable, which is probably my biggest surprise, just given the big names on here. I mean, it's all okay. The guitar playing is, I mean, these are master guitarists, right? But none of the guitar playing really blew me away in that respect. But that's kind of my overall impression with this whole album, I guess. It doesn't blow me away. I think it's really okay. Am I sad I bought it? Absolutely not. I'm super happy and grateful Ozzy's still putting out stuff. So this is a valuable contribution to my collection. Excuse me for 1 second here. Time for a Diet Pepsi break on this Friday night. I don't think I have any addictions except for Diet Pepsi. I don't know. It's horrible for you, the aspartame in here, but I need my Diet Pepsi. I could give up alcohol. I haven't smoked tobacco for years. I need my Diet Pepsi for whatever reason. Anyway, let's talk some Clutch. This is the new one from, as I just said, the band Clutch. The album is called Sunrise on Slaughter Beach. This is a single LP in a gatefold. I love the artwork, if you can see that. I gotta say, Clutch gets nowhere near the respect I think these guys need or deserve. They've been around forever. They've been putting out albums for like 30 years, and these guys are as consistent as AC/DC. Not that they sound like AC/DC, but when I say that, I mean, when you get an AC/DC album, you know what you're getting. Same with these guys. They're straight up hard rock. I read somewhere, someone mentioned in the comments once that Clutch is the ultimate dad band. And I kind of get it. I think in a sense they are. I mean, these are regular guys who you'd have over for a barbecue in your backyard or over for beers in the garage. That kind of thing. Kind of the everyday man's band. That's what I love about these guys. I've heard a few people call this album a masterpiece. I'm not quite there. I'm going to say it's very good, but I find with Clutch albums, I kind of have to live with them for an extended period of time before I can really, truly appreciate them. My favorite Clutch albums are still Earthrocker and Psychic Warfare. Those are fantastic, but this is, as I said, it's very good. My favorite track is probably the opening cut, Red Alert, Boss Metal Zone. Anyone who was a guitar player in the 80s knows what boss metal, the boss metal zone is, right? The lyrics are great as usual. It's also a thinking man's band in a way. Just the lyrics are always give food for thought. They're always very good. So yeah, if you haven't heard of Clutch, do check them out. The new one is Sunrise on Slaughter Beach. All right, 33ers, that is my Friday update. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Do you have any of these records? Have you heard them? Let me know your thoughts on those releases. I'll be back again on Sunday with a killer video. You are going to want to check it out. Until then, dear 33ers, keep on spinning.